Hey, my name is Tyler Barrett, and for my senior project, I made 5 different meals, and I learned how to effectively make them and the best ways to make them. This project was super fun to do. I'm really glad I did it. I learned a lot and had a ton of fun, and also I learned that I love food through this presentation. It's also a bonus because my wife will be happy I did this. So the meals I made 5 meals, as I said. And the first of these meals was strawberry waffles. This was my breakfast meal. These are so amazing. The strawberry waffles, they're like perfectly sweet. They're not over sweet. And if you have them with sides of like bacon, hash browns, protein, like anything like that, it really makes the dish go further. So some key steps in making strawberry waffles are: make sure that the strawberries are washed and clean. You never want dirty strawberries. That's just bad to do. And after you wash the strawberries, you need to cut them into thin slices and then sprinkle sugar onto them for extra sweetness. Use heavy whipping cream. For the whipped cream, you have to use homemade whipped cream. Never use store-bought whipped cream. That's what losers do. And always use real vanilla. Never ever use fake or synthetic vanilla. It ruins the flavor of the whipped cream. As I said before, always have something savory, a savory side to go along with the strawberry waffles, because it enhances the dish and it makes it so that you're not only focusing on the sweet, because that can get old sometimes, but if you have accents of savory things, it makes the dish perfect. So while making the waffles, one of the secret ingredients is making your own buttermilk. This is really important because store-bought buttermilk and regular and homemade buttermilk have a big taste difference. The store-bought buttermilk is a lot stronger, and you can actually taste it, and it's almost unpleasant when you use that. The homemade buttermilk is less strong, but you still get the same effects in the rising of the waffles. Also, when you're mixing the batter, make sure your eggs and butter are at room temperature, because if they're cold, it makes the batter thicker than it needs to be and harder to mix. And that is the end of the strawberry waffles. So next I made gourmet burgers, and this is my second and third meals that I made. So the first gourmet burger I made was jalapeno cream cheese infused burgers, and the second burgers I made were pina colada burgers, and they were superb. So key steps in making any burgers is always preheat the grill. It's annoying to just have everything ready and then wait for the grill to heat up. Nobody likes that. It's really annoying. The secret to a great burger is to have stuffing inside of it. It makes it super great because you just find something else inside your burger. It's like unexpected. Make sure the hamburger is completely surrounding the stuffing. If you're filling your hamburger full of stuff, make sure the hamburger is completely around it, because if it's not, the insides will melt out in the grill, and then you'll just have an empty pocket in there and you won't have anything good inside. Always have your condiments washed and cut and just ready to go, so the second your burgers are done grilling, you can have them on the plates and ready to serve, so that way you can have your meat still warm. Also, making a special sauce is really important because it furthers the dish and it accents the meat super well. Like cooking industries have been doing this forever. Like think of any fast food chain, they all have special sauces. Also, if you're grilling onions, grill the onions before you grill the meat because they take longer. And put cheese on 5 minutes before you serve the burger. It makes the cheese perfectly melted and ready to eat. So the next meal I made was Fiesta Lime Chicken. This meal is my favorite meal of all time. I really love this, and the way I make it, I like it better than Applebee's. So some key steps in making the Fiesta Lime Chicken is, if you're using frozen chicken, make sure it's completely thawed. You literally can't use frozen chicken for cooking. It doesn't work. Also, the best way to make chicken tender and juicy is tenderizing it. This tool is the key to any dish that you use chicken in, it makes it by far better. So tenderizing the chicken breaks down the tissue and allows the marinade to really soak into it, and you get the perfect flavor. Also, marinating overnight is the best way. You get the most flavor out of your marinade. And if you marinate for only a few hours, you don't get near as much flavor. Make sure your chicken is cooked at 150 degrees for at least 3 minutes on each side. Gives it full, cooks all the way through, and then you're good to go. Make sure you use fresh lime juice and fresh cilantro for your pico de gallo, because bottled cilantro is really old, and generally it just doesn't taste near as good as fresh cilantro. And fresh limes are always better than fake lime. Anyways, always put your chicken on a bed of corn chips. It allows the corn chips to absorb the sauce and the chicken juice. And also, this is served with Mexi Ranch, so always make the Mexi Ranch hours before it's needed, because Mexi Ranch, just the way it's made, the flavors don't come out until several hours after you make it. So if you make it and then plate it, it's tasteless. It really is just like sour cream and ranch. It doesn't have the heat it needs. So the next thing I made is a legendary salad, or what I like to call the legendary salad. So just some tips for making a legendary salad. Always have fresh and washed greens. No one likes old greens. Obviously, they taste bad, they look bad. It's just bad for your overall salad, especially because salads are one of the most prestigiously plated dishes there are, and the way they look. Make sure the tomatoes are either baby tomatoes or cut into small sized pieces, because having too big of tomatoes, even your baby tomatoes should be cut, because they're annoying to stab with a fork, and also eating them is annoying. So just have the tomatoes cut small enough. Make sure that there are 2 to 3 different proteins, especially in a salad. The most popular ones are having chicken with bacon and eggs. Those complement each other really well, and they're just really good together. If you're using bacon, make sure it's extra crispy, because if you have slightly chewier bacon, it doesn't ever work with salads, because salads are wet naturally, and it makes your bacon soggy, and then that's just gross. It's aesthetically pleasing to have as many colors of fruit or vegetables in your salad, and you definitely want that, because like I mentioned, or like I'm going to mention in a bit, is that color and the aesthetically pleasingness of a dish can change how you taste it. So, and then the last thing I made, this is just a difference in, because this one's a dessert, it's not a meal, but it's the Snickers apple pie. My aunt made this for me for, I think it was 4 Thanksgivings ago, and I've made it for my family ever since for Thanksgiving. So just some key steps for making Snickers apple pie is make sure to use sour green apples and cut the apples into bite-sized pieces so that you can eat them, and they're not a hassle to eat, they're just pure flavor for the pie. Make sure that your Cool Whip is at room temperature. This makes it so you can mix it better with the cream cheese. Make sure to use a graham cracker crust. It's sweeter. You don't want to use regular pie crust. And you cut the Snickers bars into thin pieces just like the apples. You want them just to taste, not a hassle to eat. For a tastier pie, use homemade caramel syrup, because it's better than store-bought. It has a more rich flavor. Also, this generally has a prep time of 4 hours, but don't let that scare you, because it's not actually that long. It's just about 1 hour, maybe an hour and 30 minutes to make it. The other hours are, it's when it's in the fridge. Also make sure to have some extra Snickers and apple slices and caramel to put on the top. It makes it look way prettier, more pleasing to the eye. So for my research paper, I wrote about how my research paper was on how the presentation of food can affect the consumer how the consumers feel about the dish. The presentation can affect how the consumer tastes the food. This is super interesting because these people did a study on your brain actually tastes the food or decides how it's going to taste long before you ever smell or taste it with your mouth. So that means that the way the food is plated is just as important as it tastes or as it smells. It can be an easy way for a restaurant to make more money because this costs nothing but allows them to charge more, and people will pay more for food that they think looks better. It also can make a restaurant more popular through social media because if someone is eating there and they like the way their food looks, they take a picture of it and post it, right? And from those postings, other people see that and want to go there, and then also it makes them more prestigious, and they can charge more money after that. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.